It's a problem local households just can't seem to crack. The cost of eggs keeps rising. According to consumer price data released this week, egg prices are up 60% over last year. And as Corey Bork reports, at local restaurants, the costs are adding up.
It's one of the things that Cheryl and I really enjoy doing together. Usually it's the French toast with eggs.
Here at Egg House Cafe in Crystal,
This is our booth.
Ellie Funk and Cheryl Olson are frequent visitors.
They do a great job. They're always very accommodating.
That's for you.
The order today, you guessed it, eggs. Eggs also became the topic of conversation.
I shop mostly at Cub, and they have gone up in price if you can find them.
And yes, pay a lot for eggs.
They keep going up. And
Wilson Rivera, the co-owner of Egg House Cafe, says he's feeling the cost impact too.
it keeps switching every week, $5, $10, or goes down or it goes up.
For now, Rivera is holding the line on prices.
For the last 3 years, there has only been one time right after COVID that we raised prices. We just went $1 more up.
But the costs are adding up. Rivera says his restaurant orders 15 to 20 cases of eggs a week. That's 2,000 to 3,000 eggs. And he says costs have more than tripled, from $20 a case last year to $65 a case currently. So what's behind the rise? The U.S. Department of Agriculture attributes it to the avian flu epidemic, now considered the deadliest outbreak in U.S. history.
Farmer-style omelet.
Back at Egg House Cafe, Rivera says his customers helped him get through a pandemic. Now they're helping him get through this challenge.
They're all neighbors, you know, they're all very familiar faces. You see them almost every week, so it feels good, you know, they keep coming back and then you see them.
In Crystal, Corey Bork, CCX News.
We also spoke with Fat Nat's Eggs. They go through roughly 11,000 eggs a week at their New Hope location. The city of Brooklyn Center has reached a tentative settlement agreement with Dante Wright's girlfriend. Elena Albrecht Payton was sitting next to Wright when he was shot and killed on April 11, 2021 by former Brooklyn Center police officer Kim Potter. Albrecht Payton sued the city for negligence causing injuries she sustained. She will receive $350,000 to settle the lawsuit. The city council approved a resolution Monday to pay her $130,000. Another $220,000 will come from the League of Minnesota Cities Insurance Trust. The settlement deal requires Albrecht Payton to drop any further claims against the city and other parties named in the suit. An Anoka man has been sentenced for killing a Brooklyn Center woman in her home. A judge sentenced Michael Klinger to 40 years in prison for the fatal shooting of 34-year-old Katie Fredrickson in her Brooklyn Center home. The couple had dated at one point, and Klinger told the court that the version of himself that takes his mental health meds would have never let this happen. The criminal complaint says Klinger was found after the crime with a significant amount of methamphetamine on him, as well as 4 handguns, 3 of which were stolen. Senator Warren Limmer is taking action after learning that former Hennepin County Sheriff Dave Hutchison utilized a state law that allowed him to be rehired at his former job. Hutchison did not run for re-election and took indefinite leave as sheriff after crashing a county vehicle while driving under the influence in 2021. He was rehired this past week to his previous role with Metro Transit, and that included a pay raise. Senator Warren Limmer says the law that allows former politicians to immediately be reinstated to their previous roles should be repealed, and he's working on a bill to that effect. In Golden Valley, the community will celebrate the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday with sweet potato comfort pie. Rose McGee is the founder of Sweet Potato Comfort Pie. She and volunteers made 94 pies to celebrate Dr. King's 94th birthday. McGee hopes that the pies and an event on Sunday will be a catalyst for change in the community.
It gives the community a chance to learn, first of all, with each other about what each other understands as it pertains to race, as it pertains to the importance of recognizing what beloved community means.
Sunday's event is from 2 until 4:30 p.m. at the Breck School. Front Porch Musical Theater's production of Annie is playing this weekend up in Rogers. Reporter Jason Malello has a sneak peek in our weekend showcase.
She is saucy and sweet, and our favorite red-headed orphan.
The big word for Annie is hope.
Set in 1930s New York City against the backdrop of the Great Depression, Annie tells the tale of a little girl searching in vain for her parents.
The sun'll come out tomorrow.
Caitlin Smith plays the title role.
I'd say Annie is very she will, if she has a dream, she'll not stop, and I'm very much that way. She is very smart, and she's just very kind and loving and will take people in. So I think that I'm that way too.
With iconic songs like Tomorrow and Hard Knock Life, Annie's journey leads her to the billionaire Daddy Warbucks, who becomes her unlikely caregiver.
He starts off the show very cold-hearted and very closed off, and then a little sweet orphan Annie just comes along and slowly chips away at that old heart of his.
About 60 students make up the cast and crew for this production, and their aim is to ensure Annie remains a timeless classic.
We're introducing this amazing family show to the next generation
And inspire the audience.
I really hope that every single person walks out of here just feeling happy and like they just saw something spectacular.
For the CCX Weekend Showcase, I'm Jason Malillo.
And you can buy tickets for the show at frontporchmusicaltheater.com.
The Park Center and Totino-Grace boys basketball teams split 2 regular season meetings last season, and each went on to win a state title. Park Center in Class 4A and Grace in 3A. They met up in another epic battle Thursday night, and Jay Wilcox has the highlights.
A huge boys hoops matchup as Park Center, ranked number 1 in 4A, meets number 1 in 3A Totino-Grace. Park Center's J.J. Ware lines it up for a long 3 from the top of the key, and it's 10-6 Pirates early. On the Eagles' turnover, Jackson Folks throws a strike to Joe Burgess for the dunk as the Pirates hold that lead. A high pick and roll here as Cash Chavis lobs to Chang Ring for the layup and a 26-17 PC lead. Ring goes out to Ware for 3 of his game-high 19 points. Park Center leads 35-28 at halftime. Second half, and Isaiah Johnson with a nice step-through move for the Eagles on his way to a 15-point outing. They're within 6. Johnson throws ahead to Tommy Humphreys for the layup as Totino-Grace briefly grabs the lead, 46-44. But the Pirates crank up the defense. Folks the steal, and he gives it to Chavis for the breakaway jam. He scores 14. Then it's C.J. O'Hara's turn for the steal and dunk. Park Center pulls away and wins 76-62 over Totino-Grace. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
One of the most accomplished and respected high school volleyball coaches in the state is receiving an outpouring of support following a recent health scare.
Sometimes you don't realize your impact and reach in life until something bad happens. John Yunker's family has found that out in recent days. The 46-year-old Champlain Park High School volleyball coach, who also helps coach girls hockey at Bedale St. Margaret's, has been hospitalized for the better part of the past 2 weeks now after initially having trouble breathing.
I got a call from him Thursday night before New Year's that he was having problems breathing, and that's what initiated him first going to the hospital. And initially they were looking at the heart and lungs and just trying to figure out what was going on, and ultimately it did end up being his heart.
Placed on a ventilator for several days to assist with his breathing, John then underwent open heart surgery Tuesday at North Memorial Hospital in Robbinsdale. One heart valve was replaced and another repaired. Extra fluid around his lungs was cleared. And now post-surgery, his long-term prognosis looks good. But it will be a long road to recovery.
It's an unfortunate part of being a full-time coach. There's not always access to good insurance, or even insurance at all. And unfortunately, he was in a position that at this moment in time, he does not have insurance. So any little thing is going to help.
Those medical costs are where people who have known John have stepped up. Izzy Ashburn was an All-American setter at Champlain Park, winning a state title with Coach Yunker in the fall of 2018. Now a collegiate All-American at Wisconsin, Izzy has organized an all-day clinic for youth volleyball players this coming Monday, Martin Luther King Day, at Minnesota Select Club in Maple Grove. All proceeds will go toward John's medical expenses.
I've known John since I played CDAA volleyball growing up in Champlin, and I came into high school and played for him for 4 years, and he's just done so much for the volleyball community, both in club and especially at Champlin Park. So a lot of people actually reached out right away when they heard about this clinic, both to Scott and to me, and a lot of them are people that know John or used to play for John.
Gut-wrenching to see him with these difficulties, and he's just a great guy, and he does so many things for so many kids and other adults. He's just a great person in our community, and we just want to do everything we can to help him right now.
Players interested in attending one of the sessions at Monday's clinics can sign up through the Minnesota Select website. We have a link to John's GoFundMe page on our website at ccxmedia.org. John Jacobson, CCX Sports.